I think the purpose of building a team and the pursuit of being successful with a team is that you're gonna use what you're good at. It's not my fault that I got the best running back in the world in my backfield. It's the same way it's not the Chiefs' fault that they have one of the greatest quarterbacks.
It's actually the Giants' fault that they have the best running
back.
Right.
I see what you did there. That jersey. This is a family show.
Still?
It's
This is specifically for the motherfuckers who came out here claiming to represent hip-hop but really didn't do shit to preserve the value of the fucking art form, the way of life. Hip-hop is a way to live, man. It ain't no institutionalized religion or something. It's a way to live. It's a culture, dog. You know what I mean? You know, so if you ain't really got nothing beneficial to offer this hip-hop shit, preserve the value of the art form, the music, the way of living, don't even fuck with it. We don't need dead weight motherfuckers.
She said,
Let them know you're a singer. You're a singer at heart. You ever like sang? You ever like perform some shit?
I used to be in like church choir and shit.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
I'm sure you can.
Like church choir, like hallelujah, like
Yeah,
got into it.
like church.
She
Choir.
come from heaven to earth and turn away. My head to pray from the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name up high.
I didn't know
Come
that
on, all
one.
that shit. You don't know that one? Man, that used to have the whole church fucking
That was the one?
to show the way. Come on, everybody knew that shit, man. That was at least the church. I went to Catholic school, so that's in my genetics by now, I guess. But I don't know.
Yo, this guy, you know who needs to hit a home run?
Who needs to hit a home
Vladimir Guerrero.
run? Ooh, yeah, you're not wrong.
He is. Where have you been, bro?
Missing in action.
Cal Raleigh got his first one last night. 2-run bomb in the 9th inning. Cash that ticket.
Oh, come on, bro.
That's why you don't cash out. That's why you don't cash out.
You don't cash out?
I don't cash out. Scare money don't make none. I don't cash out. I don't cash out. I really no because
sometimes you have to though.
There
Oh
are-
man, look, hold up, watch. I'm on my technology shit now. Pause off the watch.
Here we go.
Stop playing, bro.
Here we
Listen,
go.
we're here. The light is looking good. The music is looking good. Baseball season is back. Football's around the corner. You already know what it is. It's the one and only Cody's Corner. Come on, man. Look. I'm going to look right at the camera. Ready? Watch this. Hello, everybody, and welcome officially to Cody's Corner. Cody's week-by-week hot takes on who's going to take the W in the sports you're worried about. I'm sat by side by the one and only Eat It W Pancakes, my boy David. Listen, I'm glad you brought up the G-Men. You feel me? Because
Yeah.
I have a real announcement for everybody. I'm just going to look right in the camera as I say this. I'm switching up. Big Blue. April Fools! Alright, so for people that are going to see it another day, this is recorded on April
Take
Fool's
that shit
Day.
off
I got to
now.
take it off, right?
Take it off now.
It's burning my skin.
Take it off now.
It's burning my skin.
Stinks.
Ugh.
Stinks.
Ugh.
Stinks over there. Hey,
Hey,
go Big Blue.
listen, go. Well, listen, talking about Big Blue, they got your boy W Pancakes. They got Jameis Winston.
That's
Listen, well, we had a lot to talk about because I feel like I wanted to pull it up. You know what? I didn't even pull it up, so I'm gonna pull it up really quick. I want to get a list, or maybe you could find it. A list of all the free agency moves.
Yep, got you right now.
See if you can figure that out. One of the biggest ones, obviously, at least in this vicinity, because obviously it's Giants, Jets area, is the signing of number one, Justin Fields to the Jets, and then the Giants got Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. Oh man, excuse me. Thank God there's some water here, right? Just trying to figure that out and trying to see exactly what they're gonna do. I want to ask you a question while you look this up, though, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So, because
I have a full list and grades here, by the way.
Oh, and grades. Well, we can go side. You know what?
We don't gotta get crazy if there's a certain team that you wanna
listen.
I'm just saying a tier.
I wanna ask you this, right?
With all the signings and re-signings.
Okay. Oh, really? And
I'm
like anyone who got you got a list.
I'm wilding.
What website is that? If you don't mind me asking. Some Yahoo, some Yaheezy.
Some Yaheezy.
There's nothing wrong with that. So I wanted to ask you this before we jump into that list, right? Before we talk about anything that we're going to talk about today, I want to ask you this since we're talking about the Giants. So obviously they have the third pick, right? That's what the world is talking about right now.
Sure.
The draft is around the corner. Also, take a time next week because we're going to record a mock draft episode, round 2, with our boy Jeremy Stroiano. Keep an eye out for that. It's going to be exciting.
That's going to be a good
But just to trickle a little bit into what the hype is around the draft, they just signed 2 QBs.
Yeah.
Right? And what has been the rumor kind of all off-season long is that Shedeur might also be a New York Giant coming this next season.
Right.
I want to ask you this, right? Because everybody knows who Shedeur Sanders is, right? He's a top pick in the draft. He's an athletically capable quarterback. That's no mistake. Is he good enough to pick and choose where he goes like this, though? Like, there's been some of the greats that have chosen where they wanted to or didn't want to go. A great example, talking about the Giants, Eli. You know, he got drafted somewhere else. He decided he didn't want to play there, and then he went back. Then there's like John Elway, did the same thing. Is Shedeur Sanders in that same category, or is it all the hype because of his dad?
I mean, are you going to say that Eli Manning was out of college was better than Shedeur?
Out of college, I can't say that I know a lot about Eli Manning's college career.
I don't think he was, nor had the notoriety.
Right.
So if that's the
case,
his
family had notoriety though. He was already painting.
So if that's the case, then if Eli can do it, then why can't Shedeur?
Well, like in that way, I want to say that you can also compare the two, because when you're talking about Eli wasn't that good in college, but his name already meant something in the NFL, so he was marketed well enough to have that decision. The same way you could argue about Deion, right? You could argue that Deion was already stamped in history, NFL Hall of Fame forever, you know? His son hasn't showed that same caliber in college, but his last name is Sanders at the end of the day. So does it build a story around the fact that his last name can help him pull a little more strings as far as where he really wants to end up?
I mean, maybe.
You know?
Because
Arch Manning and Peyton Manning
but
kind of pulled Eli in that direction, you know?
I mean, but also, I feel like I don't even know if the Giants are really going to get Shedeur.
They might not. They just signed 2.
Because, not for nothing, if you're the Giants, maybe you want to intentionally tank in a way and go get Arch.
Yeah, I mean,
you know that's who they want.
Go get Archie, the next one.
Yeah, you know that's who they want.
Yeah.
That's who they really
They
want.
Want to fill the Manning circle all over again and make all the fans in the world go crazy.
But regardless of this, I'm sure that his name helps. But also, if he wasn't a good quarterback, not saying that this is a super heavy quarterback draft as it is, but if he wasn't a good quarterback, then he wouldn't have any say anyway.
Even if his dad was Deion Sanders. And if he was mid. If he was just completely out of the story, you think he could still have enough pull because his dad is Deion?
No. I think he actually also has to be good, or I think he also has to be good and shows flashes of being great.
Right. So, I want to say this too. I mean, we're going to get all into this.
Those two things compounded is what makes it.
Of course. Yeah. Like, it's not, I'm not saying, his dad did all the legwork, Shedeur's a great player.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. You don't get to where he is top 3 potential in everyone's conversation if you're not.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say this, that there is a picture where he doesn't even go top 3, right? And I'm going to paint it for you. So, obviously, the other quarterback that's in this conversation for everybody is Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Cam Ward could easily go to Tennessee 1. easily because everyone says, oh, he's the more athletic one, he's the more put together one, you know, whatever they say, right? Now, the second pick is the Browns. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you saw this headliner. I think it was this week or last week, but they said it was a big swing and a miss signing Deshaun Watson when they did.
Yeah.
You saw that.
I was just listening to it on First Take on the way here.
Oh, okay, perfect.
XM radio, baby.
Right.
Clutch.
That satellite. Oh, so you got money. No, so in all seriousness, look. So they said it's a big swing and a miss signing Deshaun Watson, right? Given now, I don't know who their quarterback option would be if they didn't draft a quarterback, right? Which they could draft Shedeur. However, Cleveland's always known for their what?
Botches?
I was going to say defense.
Oh.
That too, though. They do be swinging and missing. OD.
On the draft like crazy.
On the draft like crazy. They let Baker go. They let Odell go. They let Jarvis Landry go. You know, they're letting people go when they shouldn't, right? That's understandable.
Forget letting people go. Just drafting the wrong people just as it is.
Yo.
Like, picking, I don't know, whatever.
So, as I'm saying, you know, the most notable person on their defense is Myles Garrett, right? Defensive end. I think that it would make sense story-wise because there's this other position. It's not a quarterback, but he is considered that he might go top 5. Have you heard of Abdul Carter?
Of course.
The DN?
Of course.
What kind of story would it be if maybe they didn't go QB and they kind of like brought in the next Myles Garrett into the structure?
Are you talking about for the Browns or for the Giants?
For the Browns, right? So then that
Myles Garrett is already there, though. Why would you do that?
So look,
you just signed him to a 4-year, $160 million deal.
Well, now you got a guy. You sign a guy off a rookie deal that's supposed to be the next you, right? So
the top two, like statistically, like most important things that you need, for a championship for a football team,
right,
is a quarterback and edge rushing,
right.
Because you got to get to the quarterback.
You got to get to the quarterback.
And you got to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
You already have an edge rusher.
Right.
An elite one. Mm-hmm. Okay? A second one would make your defensive line, whatever, crazy, right? In that sense.
No.
But you still don't got anybody to throw the ball. Right now, Kenny Pickett's throwing you the ball.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
It's true.
So you tackling one part, that would be a botch again.
Right.
I think if you went Abdul Carter, which is why I think that Abdul Carter may actually even go to the Giants.
No, you're wilding. Okay, I'm sorry. So that's because I have a picture in my head, right? So if I could keep following this path, right?
Keep painting.
So let's say they go Cam Ward 1. Let's say they decide they want to get the next Myles Garrett, and Browns go Abdul Carter 2. The Giants come 3. There's a chance that Shedeur could drop because then someone has to get Travis Hunter, right? Titans. No, I'm sorry. The Giants could get Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Let's say Cam Ward, Abdul Carter. Now you're at 3. You're at the Giants, and they go Travis Hunter, right? That means that Shedeur Sanders could drop a lot after that because anyone after that either just signed a QP or figured it out because the Raiders just got Geno Smith. The Saints, I feel like he could go to the Saints as well. But if he doesn't hit those ones that they're like definitely need a QB, there was even mock drafts. I know you saw it online where the Jets got him at like 11th. You know what I'm saying? So if you can skip that top 3 and drop, there is even a chance, right? This is the speculation. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I think it'd be cool if it fucking happened because storylines, whatever. They get Travis Hunter at 3, and then they get Shedeur with the pick after that.
They have 3 and 4?
They don't have 3 and 4. I'm saying their next pick.
Oh.
If he drops enough after 3.
There's no way he's going to drop that much.
There's a chance. And then they have the Travis Hunter Shedeur connection that was already in Colorado.
Well, how many picks do they have?
We can look it up.
Because
we can look it up.
Because you're saying that pick him up at his next pick. How much do you think Shedeur is going to drop?
I mean, let's look at this. I was listening to it. I was listening to a podcast. I hate to admit, I listen to other podcasts other than my own. I'm very sorry. Shame. Let's see. So the Giants have 8 picks in this draft. Okay, look.
All right.
First round,
okay.
Pick 3.
Okay.
Second round, pick 2.
Sorry, he's not dropping to the second round.
He's all right. So
he's not going to the second round.
I'm just saying there's a Cinderella story.
There's no Cinderella story
where it happens. But and then you also
it's possible. And it's really funny that you said because me and my girl were just watching the Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney Houston.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
We were watching it last night. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. So it's fire.
You're stupid. You want to know what I've been watching lately?
What?
Are you into Marvel like that? No, not really.
Of course I am.
You watching that new Daredevil?
I actually haven't.
Oh,
is it good?
Yo, that show. Did you watch the OG one?
Like, I think I have to.
Let me nerd out for a second before we hop back into this shit.
I think I have to rewatch it because I started watching the new one.
Right.
And it was like I don't remember. I also didn't watch the
spoiler alert. Also, because
we spoil shit over here.
Because listen, like I know there's my people, like this shit. So
spoiling shit over here.
Right. So you need to rewatch the.
I didn't watch the. I also didn't watch like the stuff that happened in between that Marvel series with that girl that was in that Daredevil universe.
Yeah, I'm talking about Miss Marvel.
No, I'm not talking about Miss Marvel.
In the other universe, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about that she has a show on Disney Plus.
Oh, Elektra?
I don't know if it's Elektra.
You talking about the deaf girl?
Is she deaf? Yeah, I think so, maybe.
Yeah, Echo?
There you go.
Echo. Come on, I know the lore.
I didn't even watch Echo, and I know that Wilson Fisk and all that, so I gotta catch up a little bit.
I'm gonna tell you like this, and it's not really spoiling anything, but this is just like me being an honest observer of the show, is that the difference between the OG show and this one is that the first show you're learning about Murdoch, Daredevil, and Fisk is already like the bad guy. Like you know who you have to beat the bad guy, right? In this one, it's more interesting because it kind of portrays them as being two halves of a whole.
Yeah, I read that somewhere.
You know
that they're like parallel. Like they make them seem.
They make their timelines line up so that like you can tell whatever one's going through, the other one's also going through something. So they gotta they're probably gonna figure it out around the same time type. But it's a great show.
All right.
But what bugged me out, and I'll stop right here, is that I found out that one of the heroes that they're putting into like the next Avengers, whatever, is a girl from Jersey City.
Okay.
Not the actress, like the story of the girl.
Uh-huh.
She's like from an Indian family, and she's from Jersey City.
Oh, they
That's Miss Marvel.
Yeah, they had a movie about that.
They had a movie about
it. But she's gonna be in the new Avengers.
There's gonna be OD people in the new
You know what's
Avengers,
funny
bro.
though? Not for nothing, even though her character may seem corny, her character is actually crazy because she can move through dimensions and shit like that. So
you seen that Doctor Strange?
In the spirit of like Marvel and how that could help the Avengers, like that's crazy because I also read that a lot of the Avengers are gonna die. There's gonna be a lot of superheroes that die and aren't coming.
I mean, this shit makes sense.
And aren't coming back they're gonna die.
They gotta start that shit fresh, bro. Because you know how much.
Well, Doomsday is like that though.
Yeah, Doomsday. They're all dying, bro. It's Doomsday. Know what I'm saying?
No, Doctor Doom. Sorry. Dr. Doom.
Well, Doomsday is the name of the Avengers movie.
Yeah,
it's
but
like it was like Avengers Endgame. It was like Avengers Doomsday.
No, but Dr. Doom is the character, no?
Yeah. And it's the same guy that played Iron Man.
Yeah, Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Well, in a different universe.
Yeah, Robert Downey, whatever.
Because even the suit, I think, looks
like an Iron Man suit.
Low-key Iron Man-ish in a way. Like it almost kind of has something right here. That's what they kind of trying to do because it is Tony Stark, but just in an alternate universe. It's like, you know what?
Exactly.
If Iron Man would be evil, he'd be Doctor Doom.
Right. The things he would do or how he would do it, whatever.
Because he's still a genius and a millionaire.
Facts.
Or a billionaire, I should say. A genius billionaire.
Just a villain. The villain.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So, tough.
Listen. Tune into our Marvel podcast that we're going to have next week, you feel me, called Disney
real quick.
Disney
actually,
with David?
Since we're talking Disney and since we're talking, right, have you heard anything? Do you know who Rachel Zegler is?
Rachel Zegler. Nah, should I know who this is?
Maybe not necessarily, but
Rachel?
She was casted as the new Snow White.
Yes, she's from Clifton. Yeah.
That
not to dox her, but yeah, she's from the area. Yeah.
Well, nobody likes her.
Really? What do you mean?
So like I was just like watching like certain things about like interviews and stuff like that. First of all, that Snow White got a 1.3 rating, one of the worst rated movies of like all time.
No,
you know how crazy
way.
that is? How do you get a 1.3? Like if you read up on it, like if you look up like Rachel Zegler like controversy or whatever, something like that, or Disney, like she's been going like trying to change the story with Snow. Just a lot of backlash. People don't like the fact that like she's just not in people's good graces.
I googled it. The first headline that pops up is Snow White's producer. So the producer's son. So Snow White's producer's son blames Rachel Zegler for the box office bomb. That's horrible. Yeah. Listen, and we want people from New Jersey to thrive, man. Listen, I think it's hard to reintroduce Snow White in this day and age anyway.
Well, no, I don't think it's hard at all. I think the problem is that
fucking they pop out, you know.
I think the problem is that they tried to, which is what people were saying too, like she came in and wanted to change it and made it almost like a feminist movement thing, and like again, you know, power to my women. I love them, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but
you can't change a class.
But sometimes, you know, like it doesn't need to be portrayed in everything, right? Like Snow White is for kids,
right? And
like parents and shit like that.
Like so tell a story without an agenda, kind of.
Yeah, that's all I mean. Like without having to push some type of a narrative.
Because there's nothing wrong with feminism. That's not what we're saying either. But I get what you're saying.
And even now we have to like make sure that you guys know, like
But more so than anything, like
it's just like having to like push a narrative. Like some things don't need to. Some things can just be. You know. Like, you're not changing Lion King like that. Like
you bring a movie back because the movie was good as it was, and you want to tell that story again because it was good as is.
And like I said, it's for the kids. Like, like, you know.
I hate to hear that, bro, especially since she's from Jersey. That's horrible.
Colombian, too, I believe. Right?
Is she?
Yeah.
Hey, shout out my people, you know. Colombia, bro. Barranquilla. Okay, let's get into it. So, we talked about...
first? What are we doing?
So I want to say this, right? So I had a little segue, and then we kind of fell off into some Disney. So we're gonna bring it back real quick.
Yeah.
Talking about the Browns and how they might make a bad move. They said Deshaun Watson was a swing and a miss. Mm-hmm. Speaking about a swing, right?
Oh, here we go. I already know.
How about those Yankees, bro?
Yankees!
Listen. They scored 20 runs that one game, bro. Yo, that's like,
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 6 different players home run. Aaron Judge hit 3, one of them being a grand slam.
Yeah, and Jazz Chisholm also hit 3.
He didn't hit 3 that game, did he?
I can tell you right now. Well, I know I can't believe, but 29 hits in one fucking game at Yankee Stadium, bro.
Now
29? Yo, and everybody and their mother, right, wants to go to the home opener, right? Because it's the home opener, opening day. Oh, my God. I'm going to take my son. He's going to pop out with a baseball mitt.
The next game they go
and that game's 4-2. It's not a low-scoring game by any means. 6 runs is 6 runs. You know, you got a chance. 29.
Yeah.
And that 9 wasn't because they were gonna win. It was because we got to go out with some pride. You know what I mean? We're at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna go out with my balls in my you know what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
29 hits. As a father, that's the easiest day in the world to make a dream. That's like it's raining fucking home runs, bro.
I can only imagine. Like, bro. And I'm at work with my with my Twitter going crazy because MLB home runs is on my noties. And it's like ding ding, and I'm like,
my ESPN.
I'm like this. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Austin Wells. Wait, okay.
Okay, cool.
Rice,
yeah.
Jazz, Goldschmidt. And I'm like, wait, Judge. I'm like,
wait
a second. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now at Yankee Stadium?
Talking about your boy Ben Rice. Did you see? You see how perfect he speaks Spanish, bro?
¿Dónde aprendiste a hablar español?
Durante la escuela, sí. Yo estaba tomando clases hace que yo tenía 12 años. Y sí, hasta que yo estaba en la universidad y durante el béisbol profesional aprendí mejor a hablar como los latinos y los dominicanos, es posible así. Sí.
Wow, el hombre es dominicano aquí, dominico-americano. Ese primer día, ese primer hit, ¿Cómo viviste ese primer hit?
Oh, fue increíble, increíble. Yo no puedo describir cómo me sentía, pero, un sueño completo. Sí.
They be calling him Ben Arroz.
I know.
That's hilarious, bro. Ben Arroz was killing me. This on the way here, I'm like getting ready and my car is starting and I'm scrolling through my Instagram and the first thing I see is him singing Debí tirar más fotos de cuando. I was like, yo, we get it, bro. We get it. We understand. Love that guy, bro.
Yeah, man.
I think it's interesting to see. I think baseball, aside from soccer, obviously, is one of the main sports that really I don't want to say idolize, but really emphasizes the impact of Hispanic culture, in a most active way because there's so many Hispanic players in the MLB, right? So I like seeing it. You know what I mean? I'd rather that, if I could see anything. So that's my bias since we're talking about agendas, right? That's my agenda, bros. Listen, I think it'd be cool if you saw Hispanic people doing that thing and showing that love to other people. But the Yankees, man. Everyone's talking about it. Aside from them just scoring well, they got these torpedo bats.
They're not the only ones. I got a full list here of actually players that are using torpedo bats if you would like.
Yeah, sure. I would love that actually.
I come prepared.
Listen,
you know that.
And I'm glad you do because when I first saw it, first glance, I was like they're using little league bats. And this is a list of all the people. Okay, I got you. So, I'm going to have you screenshot this and send it to me later. I'll put it on the show. So, all the people in the MLB right now that are currently using these torpedo bats, for those that don't know, torpedo bat basically just means that it's a different shape altered from the standard bat that is usually used in the MLB.
The barrel has been moved up. So
I thought it was down.
No, I believe the barrel's up. If you look at it, it's like
yeah, it's in the middle. It's in the middle.
So basically what they saw was, and analytic wise, right? The Yankees saw analytically that where they were hitting the ball, they were just like missing the barrel
on the logo.
Essentially, right? They were hitting so they were just missing the barrel. So they essentially just moved the barrel up, and now it's ding ding. But I don't necessarily think that. I mean, you still have to swing and hit the ball,
right?
Like people are still throwing.
But people are looking at it because the score was 20-9 on that second game, right? And they're like, "Yo."
But then there's plenty of. But then now you have a list like this where there's plenty of batters who are using it and can't hit the freaking backside of a barn. Francisco Lindor being one.
Yeah, he's on this list. So I'm gonna go down this list really quick just for people that are tuning in. So there is a lot of Yankees on here. Don't get it wrong. Cody.
Well, that's because their analytic team is the one that kind of like
led the way on this kind of yeah. So Cody Bellinger, Jazz Chisholm, Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Volpe, Austin Wells. 5 Yankee players with this torpedo bat, and they were doing their thing.
And Judge, by the way, isn't using a torpedo bat.
Yeah.
So
and he's
the one who's crushing them for real.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the best player on the team. Everybody's like, oh well, if he wasn't that, no, it's not Judge, bro. So you can't point that finger.
So you can't even say it. So there goes that argument.
So now I'm gonna go down the list of everybody that isn't a Yankee. So then, like he said, Francisco Lindor, Ryan Jeffers from the Minnesota Twins, catcher Nico Horner, second baseman from the Cubs, Dansby Swanson, another shortstop from the Cubs, Jose Trevino, the catcher from the Reds, Adley Rutschman, a catcher from the Orioles, Junior Caminero, third baseman from the Rays, and David Schneider, an outfielder from the Blue Jays. So, are you all right over there?
I'm good.
A little discombobulated a little bit?
It got a little crazy.
Yeah, you figured it out. Look,
you know why? Because it's getting clipped right here, so we're good.
So it's getting stuck on the dust a little bit?
Yeah, it's snagged a little bit.
Well, listen, I think that...
So
how do you feel about it? Some people are like, oh, is that cheating? Is it allowed in the MLB?
There's always going to be innovative ways to try to score, to try to get an advantage on your opponents. Like when guys are using sticky tack and things like that. When pitchers use that.
The tar.
Pitchers use tar, right? So their hands don't slip and they're dry, whatever the case may be, so they can have more control of the ball. All right. So as a batter, and these pitchers are, you got guys like Paul Skeens, who's got freaking, 4 to 6, pitches in his, mix.
Yeah.
And he's artillery. And he's throwing 97 all of them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, I need a little help. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
So I don't. So and obviously anybody can use them. So and I'm sure again you have Judge, who's arguably the best hitter in baseball.
Right, arguably.
Right? Arguably the best hitter in baseball, and he's not using one. So, you know what I'm saying? I think analytically wise, like if you're looking at your swing, because again, baseball is crazy about numbers, right? All these,
right.
You've got they have like these analytic teams, whatever. So if you're seeing that, okay, the majority of my balls, you know, that I'm hitting, I'm just missing the barrel or whatever. So if I can use a different type of bat that kind of helps me connect more,
why not? If it's in the rules and if I'm allowed to, why not?
Then why not? And if the best hitters in baseball aren't using it still, then clearly it's not. It shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now if Aaron Judge uses it and he hits 90 home runs in a season, you're like,
people are gonna raise an eyebrow to it. It's different.
But the guy already has what? He hit 3 on Saturday, and I think another 2. He's got 5 or 6, I think, already in like 4 games.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? And he said it. He's like, why change it? He's like, I had such success already. Why change it? And it's so, you know, there's no real thing. It's just that, of course, they saw it first with the Yankees.
Right.
And then they tried to, like,
that's the thing.
That's what it was.
That's all it is, bro.
That's
is that obviously outside of, like, you know, being controversial, you could say, or a little different than the average when it comes to the rules of baseball. It's also the Yankees, so the microscope is already there.
It's
and then
something
to see
that
people fight against it. Let's see, he has 8 runs already on the season.
That's 8 runs, but how many of them home runs? Because I know one of them was a grand
4.
slam.
4.
Yeah, 4.
4 home runs, and they're playing tonight. They've had 3 games. I think I saw it was the first Yankee.
First Yankee to have 4 home runs through 3 games.
Yeah, which is crazy, bro.
Come on, bro.
And he with no torpedo bat. So
no
you know what?
bat.
Just leave us alone, bro. It has nothing to do with us.
So now I have a question for you. Speaking about innovative changes and things like that with rules, right?
Right.
You see that they're trying to ban the tush push.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I'm glad you brought that up. I think people hate greatness, bro. That's the truth. I think people they hate you when you're popping. You know what I mean?
Oh my god,
it's true, man. Like, yo, if it was legal, right, and you could do it,
you know, you can't.
One person's just doing it. I mean, you're not allowed to push someone on the end, right? That's how it goes.
Well, no, they're pushing them. I mean, you can't do it in high school and in college,
right? But you could do it in the league.
That's okay.
That's okay. To me, and that's okay. Have you ever seen
it has like an 85% success rate.
Okay. What if the torpedo bats had an 85% success rate? And people are gonna look at it the same way. Like, listen, if it's in the rules and it's not hurting anybody, and we could do it better than you can, right? You know, and that's that's the same move the Yankees are playing right now. They say, listen, you could go cop the same bat as me,
but you still got to make contact. Francisco Lindor.
I mean, look, you gotta be a hitter. You gotta hit the ball at the end of the day.
He's pissing me off. I've been chasing his ass for no homo for fucking 4 days now. Hit something, you bitch ass nigga. Fuck.
Who do they play today? The Mets. Do they play today?
Yeah, they play today.
They might be off today, right? Because they played all the way through.
No, I think they might play today.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I love baseball.
Yeah, baseball's been exciting, man. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. They play at 6:40. They play the Marlins. That's right. Yeah. They play the Marlins yesterday.
And we like that.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso with his first home run last night, being a grand slam.
Yeah.
Petey.
Yeah.
Polar Bear.
The guy that was on the edge of, oh my God, are we gonna bring this guy back? And we don't know. Oh my God, they signed this guy. So does that mean they're not gonna sign? He's.
I really do.
He's doing his thing as a Met.
I must say, man, I really do enjoy sitting there and looking at like these numbers for like bat. Like, I love the fact that baseball season is back. Man.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
so happy. But yeah, man. So back to the tush push real quick.
Right.
So
let's stay there.
I don't necessarily know if I want it banned, but like. That play, clearly, if you have the certain personnel, like, all right, so the Eagles' offensive line, average weight is 325 pounds.
Okay, is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Okay.
Okay.
You were clocking them.
Then you have a quarterback which I don't know any other quarterback that can squat 600 pounds.
Right.
So clearly you have the personnel to be able to push.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like
to accomplish that successfully.
But however, that's, I don't want to say an unfair advantage, but it is an advantage. So like when you see something like in the Super Bowl where they were about to just award them the points because the Chiefs kept going off sides, trying to balance out that advantage.
Right.
It's like, I don't know. So it's I just don't want it getting in the way of like football.
Right.
Because
take away from the sport a little bit.
You know what I mean? Because like it's like think about how creative you need to be. Those are some of those most exciting plays. Being on that goal line, 3rd and 3.
Yeah.
You know, because especially like if you know that team's got a good run defense, you're like, damn, you don't know where this ball is gonna go right now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I watched the Eagles. What is it? Oh, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. Yeah, it's gonna be a touch push. I know this already. You know, like, and the other side knows this already.
I understand your argument, right? But I think that the beauty of sport,
and then Jalen Hurts has the nerve to not even, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just crazy.
I gotta say I disagree with you, bro. But the reason I disagree,
I'm not saying I want to ban though.
No, I'm not. I don't want to ban either. But the reason that I disagree with your stand on it is, I think the purpose of building a team and the pursuit of being successful with a team is that you're gonna use what you're good at. It's not my fault that I got the best running back in the world in my backfield. It's the same way it's not the Chiefs' fault that they have one of the greatest quarterbacks.
It's actually the Giants' fault that they have the best running
back. Right. I see what you did there. That jersey. All right, now I'm gonna bleep that out. But just to go back to what I'm saying, right? No, listen, this is a family show.
Still,
that's it. Listen, we talk about Disney. We drink a little coffee, sip on a little water.
I was more bashing Disney than I was talking about. Okay.
But neither here nor there. I think part of sport, in any sport, I'm just giving NFL examples, is that you're going to get someone that gives you, I wouldn't call it an unfair advantage. I'd call it a fair advantage. And I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just really way better at this than you are. My will against your will. Yo, let's go right here, right now. I don't care how many flags you call. If you call a flag on that team, it's their fault. It's not because I did something wrong. I'm running this tush push. Why? Because my guys are nice at it. Sirianni's like, yo, why are you going to ban it? Because we're so great at it? And the world hasn't caught up yet? Give me a break. That was how they felt when quarterbacks first got mobile. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Running out of the pocket for 20 yards. He's not a quarterback. Yes, he is. He's just better with his legs than you are.
The thing is that most of the time people have like that initial shock, right? When something's new.
Right.
But the tush push isn't new.
Like the torpedo bat.
Right. But the tush push isn't new anymore now. But I'm looking at the thing. We got a D.
We got a D in what, free agency?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't believe in Justin Fields, bro. That's why I really want to ask.
Yeah, but like look at the rest of our signings. Brandon Stevens, Andre Cisco. If you don't know about Andre Cisco, you don't know about football.
Right.
Safety was nasty. 8 interceptions and shit like
something like that. Yeah,
come on, bro. Like come on, dude. Like you're bugging. Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
Josh Reynolds can play.
Josh Reynolds from the Lions was all right.
Reynolds can play.
There was already a lot of mouths to feed in Detroit. So and he's also already familiar with the head coach situation. Obviously, Aaron Glenn coming from Detroit.
Come on, man. So. I don't think we did, man.
I think they listen, but needless to say,
our boy Jamie and Sherwood re-signed.
Right. But in that same situation, our division is kind of in trouble, bro.
Like, as in what?
Our division is kind of in trouble. We hadn't talked about this yet, but since we're still on football, Stephon Diggs to the Pats, right? Okay. If we could talk about that, I think that brings another capable receiver that we thought we had gotten rid of last season.
They gave him an A- in free agency.
Who?
The Patriots.
I absolutely agree. They had a great offseason. And they'd signed a head coach that is admirable, and Mike Vrabel, on top of that. So I don't doubt that at all, obviously.
Damn.
And then you're gonna have Stephon Diggs come out after he's a Patriot now, and they gave him bread. I don't know if you saw it. It's like $26 million guaranteed, something
3
like that.
3 years, $69 million.
Yeah, right. Given that, on top of that, he comes out in an interview and they're like, hey, why did you choose the Patriots, this and that? Oh, Drake May reminds me a lot of Josh Allen. You know that was my guy. So that means either one of two things. That either means that he's saying that to make a good impact on the community, New England, whatever, because they used to not like him because he was in Buffalo, whatever, all right, cool. Or that means that there's something developing in New England that we haven't had our eyes on the same way that people have had their eyes on us. And our division is kind of getting hard again, bro.
Well, the Patriots are extremely high on Drake May.
Yeah.
And they have been.
He's their next franchise guy.
And if you watch Drake May, he can play.
Yeah, he can play.
They want him to run a little bit less than he does because he's a little reckless when he does.
Right.
And I know that part of the reason that they were a little hesitant with Stephon Diggs is as good as he is the fact that he's a little bit of a diva-ish. So when you have a young quarterback, that's surrounded by young receivers, he's sharing the ball.
Yeah, there's no
ego. If you're open, you're getting it.
Right.
Now, you're going to have a couple people that are probably whatever, but that also has to do with scheme and stuff like that. Like, I know it's Hunter Henry was one of his favorite targets.
Right.
You know, whatever the case may be. But when you have a Stephon Diggs, a guy like that demands the ball.
Right.
And when you're a young quarterback, you may feel obligated to try to get him the ball.
Yeah.
So, but trust me, the Patriots are very high on Drake May, and they this is why they wanted that type of quarterback like Vrabel. Like they're I know our division. I never even thought our division sucked. I always just thought that like we're just on like some downish years, but they'll be back. Like the Bills are still nice. I knew the Patriots are not gonna stay shitty for long. Like,
did you think that? I thought that after Bill Belichick, I thought we were in the clear for a little bit.
No. I didn't think so because they're still a very well-run organization.
I gotta tell you, I was more scared with Gerard Mayo because they were supposed to be in a rebuild, and then they started winning, and everybody was confused. I was like, all right, what's going on? But then they fired their coach, and I was like, okay, maybe we can take our foot off their neck, kinda. Because Miami also is always dealing with injury problems. No disrespect, but Tua can't stay on the field, right? So that also affects everything. So I kind of felt like, okay, maybe just for now, we only have to worry about Buffalo. And then he comes back and does this. Then Tua comes back healthy, and he starts ripping the league again, like as if he had never done anything. And then we have to worry about a guy that already was giving us problems in the past in Buffalo, linked with a quarterback, given that he was a rookie, right? Yeah, he might be reckless on the run, but he's also not doing anything that was unexpected from him as a rookie in the first place. You know what I mean? And then the Jets, what happens to the Jets? They're back in the quarterback hunt. They're back in the stand of losing all the players that were successful by the time that they had to figure it out, whatever. I do believe we're still the second best team in the division. I think we're better than New England. I think we're better than Miami. I don't think we're better than Buffalo.
No.
But I think that's still the order right now. I think we're 2. So that's all I got for right now. Talking about Jets history, Pats history. Bill Parcells is going to be inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame. They just announced that. So Bill Parcells.
One of the greatest.
One of the greatest.
Also
go ahead.
Known to be a extremely like good person, like good man. Like there are stories of Bill Parcells like helping his old players out like to this day. Like, you know what I mean?
That's
like
cool.
Like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that.
Have you
probably why they played so damn hard for him. They probably loved him.
Probably, bro. You know, to be honest, you know,
there's just some people that like that, man.
They say that when you love your coach, you're going all in for him. That's what they said about Dan Campbell.
You'll run through a brick wall for him.
Yeah, and it's true. I mean, as someone who played in high school, like, yo, I don't know if I ever told you this. I had 4 different coaches in 4 years.
That's tough.
So it was kind of hard to build a relationship with someone, but there was a certain coach a certain year that I was clicking with him on all cylinders, and yo, I knew for a fact that if there was something this guy asked of me, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
you know, without question, and not even just because I was a child or because I was young. It's because like I had a connection closer with this coach than I did with the others, that implemented like an extra
Yeah.
jolt in my engine. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I definitely can understand that and why they feel that way. So congrats to Bill Parcells. He has one of my favorite quotes of all time is by Bill Parcells, actually.
Which is?
Oh, you ready? I'm gonna break it down for you.
I'm like, break it down for you. Is it a paragraph? Like,
It's not a paragraph. It's like a two sentence thing.
Okay.
So it goes like this. You can fool hundreds of men down the highway of life and take pats on the back as you pass. But the path forward will be heartache and tears if you cheat on the man in the glass. You ever heard that before?
No.
Basically saying if you cheat yourself, you're going to have a bad life.
Oh.
The man in the glass being the man in the mirror, you.
Makes sense.
There you go. You get a little, listen, you got a little bit of Disney, you got a little poetry slam section, part of the, you feel me? We could snap to the response. But yeah, bro, other than that, I mean, that's really what's going on in sports right now. The draft is around the corner. Baseball's already hot, you know, so we're always going to have a little bit of baseball to talk about. The Torpedo stuff, you know, is cool, whatever.
Can I say one thing before we exit?
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, even though basketball has not been good to me on the gambling side.
The Lakers.
You know, I'm a Lakers fan, diehard basketball fan. So I know we touched up upon Stephen A. and you know how I feel about Stephen A.
Right.
So how do you feel? I was watching something, right, and somebody had a theory and was like, the real reason that this is happening with like Stephen A. and LeBron, because I think Stephen A. just came out and said something about like that he don't like LeBron, and like, could this be the fact that like LeBron has never given like Stephen A. any type of like access to him or anything, and this is why he maybe has a resentment towards him, or this is why he's so difficult to alter, and this is why he's like, oh, you'll never be the GOAT and this and that, because Stephen A. has a relationship with Michael Jordan.
Right.
They text and this and that. He does not have that with LeBron at all.
Right.
So do you think a guy like Stephen A., who seems kind of like egotistical, right? Because you kind of have to be in that space.
Right, in the
right?
media space where you stand on your business.
So a guy who's essentially him in his field.
Right.
And another guy who's him in his field, but he don't fuck with you.
Right.
Do you think if you're Stephen A., that like bothers you? Like, I've got access to this guy. Michael Jordan texts me.
Yeah.
But LeBron don't text me? LeBron doesn't give me any access to this and that. So it's almost like, because this shit has been going on for so long now.
Right.
That it's like, is it personal? Like,
I'm gonna say it like this, and just me being as honest as I can. I can't speak on how personally someone else is taking things that are being or not being given to him as requested, right? But what I do think is that Stephen A. has the type of personality as a sports personality that you would assume, or maybe he would assume, everyone likes it, or everyone takes it well, or everyone whatever, you know? So not only are you missing out on one of the greatest of all time, not only are you missing out on one of the greatest in the league currently, not only are you missing out on a star Laker, but you're missing out on maybe some of the biggest headlines in your favorite sport because you don't know how to act.
I don't know. I just think it's,
you know,
and
that doesn't mean that I'm gonna be, you know. Let's say we touch the ceiling with the podcast, right? You're not gonna like every athlete you have to talk about.
No.
You know, the same way not every athlete you like to or have to talk about is gonna like you. That's life.
No, but
aside from the industry, but I think that if he's gonna take it personally, then he should take all of them personally, because a lot of people don't like Stephen A.
A lot of people don't like. One of my favorites. I love JJ Redick as a coach, but damn, do I miss him on First Take, man. He used to cook.
He's a good coach, though.
Yeah, he's a great coach.
He's a great coach.
He's a good coach. And you know what makes him a good coach too? Not just because he's good with X's and O's and things like that, but you can absolutely tell that J.J. Redick is a leader of men. J.J. Redick demands respect from his players. You can tell by the way he talks about his team, about basketball. Like, you can't talk to J.J. Redick and like you can't outsmart the guy.
You can't little boy him.
You can't little boy him. Like, so it's like, what real advantage do you have in him? You know what I'm saying? Like, other than being somebody like a LeBron, who's a greatest player in the world in championship, but for most players, you got to look at J.J. Redick like this is an accomplished guy in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Accomplished in college, clearly knows the game, clearly whatever. So, but damn, man, I miss him ripping Stephen A. I really do.
I mean,
Stephen, he was like, you never played, but he's like, you played 2 minutes and this and he's like, how are you more qualified to talk about basketball than me? Like, are you kidding me?
And you know what? Not for nothing, and we'll end it on this. I think J.J. Redick probably is in LeBron's ear telling him the same stuff. And he could be. He said, listen, man, whatever this guy's saying to you, whatever problem you have, he never touched the hardwood. I mean, he did play in college.
I don't even think it's
stuff like that.
Yeah,
but you know,
you didn't really play. Like,
yeah.
And I don't even think it's anything like that. I think if they're saying even if they do talk to each other about it,
and he's meant to ruffle feathers a little bit.
J.J. Redick's probably like, if he's you believe Stephen A. J.J. Redick's probably like, he knows nothing about basketball, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and this is,
I wouldn't say he knows nothing.
He knows nothing about like real basketball. I've always told you, Stephen A. Smith to me is somebody who like is all about like the character of some person and things like that. Like, I don't really ever hear him speaking anything. Like, I don't learn anything from Stephen A. And when I and when I listen to other than like somebody's personal life or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, but I don't really learn like a stat or
like a schematic
or like I don't learn how a player, like I don't learn it. And some of the people that I like to listen to the most, you know, are knowledgeable in what this is why I like to listen to athletes or ex-athletes when they're sports announcers, because they saw like a guy like Marcus Spears, right? He used to play for the Cowboys and stuff like that. When he talks, like he talks in a way like he's knowledgeable about football from like the I guess a regular standpoint, like a media standpoint, but he's also knowledgeable about football because he's been in that locker room. And there's just certain shit that you can't teach, that you can only just live in. That doesn't make Stephen A. a bad media guy or nothing like that. Obviously not. It's just not my cup of tea and not a lot of people's cup of tea, especially if you're like... I feel like if you're like a diehard sports fan, like if you're a sports fan, you could do with or without Stephen A. I feel like Stephen A. is more so for the casual fan. Yeah. He's bringing you in with his personality before he's talking up too much shop. For the casual fan. We're going to talk about, you know, this and that and blah, blah, clickbaity stuff. Well, me personally, I like Stephen A., but it's because he makes me laugh. And I think, you know, if you can make someone laugh, you can keep them sitting in the room. He doesn't make me laugh. I don't find Stephen A. funny. Shannon Sharp is funny. Shannon Sharp is also funny. Stephen A. is not. Stephen A. is funny to you? Yeah, I like Steve. I never had a problem with Stephen A. I can't recall anything that I've heard Stephen A. Smith say that made me laugh. I mean, off the top of my head, I'm not going to give you a joke that he said or something like that. But not a joke, nothing. I don't know. But Shannon Sharp can literally go... You know, I was a little upset when he had this whole late. I don't care if it's in the bed, on your head, getting bread, Lakers in 5. He'd be like, I don't care if I'm upside down, round and round, loop me down, Lakers in 5. What was the one I heard? He said Rockets, light socket, court docket. And what was the last one? He said in the pocket, something like that. Oh no, he said Rockets, light sockets, court dockets. Broke is my pockets. Lakers of What a clown, bro. What a funny guy, man. Yeah, man. So, on that note, look, I would love to talk more, but I actually got to fly. We got to get going. We got to go handle business after this. Next episode is going to be our mock draft. Yep. That's going to be exciting. Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on. Baseball is back, as we know. What is this, like, the 5th day, I think, now, right? Because it started on Thursday. Yeah, it started on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so not even Tuesday. A weekend. So 5 days in. Basketball, there are 8 games left, I believe, in the regular season. Yep. Before the playoffs. Yep. As we see, free agencies heating up, drafts around the corner.
We're gonna get rolling right back into it, bro.
It's a beautiful time to be alive.
So coming up, we're gonna try and get this mock draft in, and the clown episode for whoever's gonna go. I still haven't figured out who's gonna go.
I mean, it'll happen, but
even if me and you go, like, yo, I gotta do it. Listen, you gotta do it. I think subconsciously I've been trying to push it to the side because I'm not trying to wear this clown makeup.
The last date that you said. Shit, you may have to because I think you were talking about like the 10th or something like that.
Yeah.
The 13th, I'm supposed to go to the Yankee game. The 12th, I have a birthday party to go to.
It's the 11th.
And then the 11th. So, damn, that would be a hell of a weekend for me.
That'd be a fun
11th, hockey game. 12th, the birthday party. 13th, Yankee game.
I'm just trying to keep your weekend exciting. That's all it is, bro.
Jeez. But anyway.
So, listen, as far as keeping us exciting, keeping stuff exciting for you guys, thanks for always watching. And as always, I'll see ya.
Alrighty.